So welcome to Gumbuya. We start by logging into the system. So we input our credentials and log in. You will then see the modeler screen, which is the tool that we use for inputting content into Gumbuya. In Gumbuya, content is organized into episodes. You start with a default episode called My Episode, and for our scenario here, we'll be creating a new episode. To create a new episode, you have to click on the plus sign on the right side of the screen. The dialog box will come in, and you can actually put the name of the episode. We're going to call it Grocer John, which is the scenario that we'll be using for this tutorial. Okay, we have our first episode created. We click on the episode, and as you see, there's no content in it at all. So we start by adding content. To add content, similar to creating episodes, we're going to click on the plus sign on the right side of the screen. Now this time you will see all the type of content that are available. We'll create a collection and we'll start organizing content under collections, very much like in folders. So we have a little structure for putting content in. It's easy for us to navigate through the content later and get access to it. So we'll create our first collection. We can define what type of content is going to be inside the collection, and we'll pick all. So this collection will accept any type of content. We'll give this content a name assets. So the collection is created. Now we're going to add the first content to this collection. So we're going to click on the plus sign here on the right side, and again we'll see the dialog box with all the type of content that are available. We'll pick image, as we're going to input a logo for this Grocer John application that we're going to be building. So we'll click on the plus sign here, the upload. You can actually drag content here or just click on the plus, and the dialog box from your file system will show, and you pick the image that you need. We're going to get this Grocer John logo image, which is a PNG file with a transparent background. Using a transparent background will allow us to put actually the background that we want later. Good, so now we have it in. Next thing that we do is to make it public. We do this in order to actually have access to this image when it's being accessed on the application from anybody, any anonymous user on the outside world. So we'll go back here. Now we'll create another collection. And this is going to be a photo gallery, so we'll just put it all type of content. We'll call it photo. And we'll start adding content to it. So again, this is going to be images. We're going to pick a few images and just add it. You'll notice that the name of the file is going to be the title of the photo inside Gumbuya. You can either replace it or just leave it as it is. Once we add it, again we make it public, and we go and add the next one. So we go back one, and we'll repeat this for the next 3 images. There's our second image. Make it public. Go back. Plus. Image. Make it public. And we add our last image. We make it public. We go back, and we'll make the entire collection public now. So we'll click on the public, and now the entire collection is public, can be seen on the application. Good. So we finished adding content. We will now move to the composer. This is the composer. The composer is a tool where we actually build applications. We start with a blank screen. There's no campaign created yet, so we're going to create our first campaign. We're going to call it Grocer John. We confirm we have a blank campaign. We're going to create our first screen on this campaign. So we go click on the plus sign on the right side, and we'll now select the template that we're going to be using for this specific screen. Right? We're going to get an elastic canvas, which is a responsive, full width, full height, so we can actually play around with it. Okay. We're going to call it gallery. We're going to start by editing it. So we click on the edit icon on the right side and we go into edit mode. On the edit mode, you have layout, you have components, and you have content. We're going to start by the layout. It's the first thing that we do when we build a screen here, any interactive experience. So you have a list of different type of layouts that we can actually use and mix together. In our case, we're going to use a row stack. So it's going to be a vertical stack. We're going to start putting content on. So our first row, we're going to have to define the size of it. So we're going to put a single cell on it. So you can actually specify a size. So we'll click on it and we'll set it to 16 px. This is where we're going to actually place the logo. Okay, here on the bottom, on the next stack, as you see, when we have a stack, once we add content or a layout to any of these, the second stack beneath will show immediately. So we can actually keep adding things all together. So now we have the layout defined. Okay, our first row with a specific limit height of 60 px, and the second row of the stack, we just leave it as it is, so it's going to adjust automatically to whatever size we put, depending on the content. We now go for the component. The component are actually going to visualize the content. So we first add the component, and then we specify, we set it up, and then we actually put the content on it. So we're going to go for the first one. It's going to be the logo. So we're going to get a item visualizer, and we're going to get the image component, and we're going to add it here. Okay, now we have an image visualizer here. As you see, each visualizer has its own settings. And we'll add on the bottom the gallery visualizer. So we'll go here for it's going to be a list visualizer. These are all the list visualizers that we have. We're going to get the tile list and just drag and drop it on the second row of the stack. Okay, so we have two visualizers here. Now that we have a visualizer, we'll start adding content. So we'll now move to the content. As you see, there's no content available in this specific campaign for us to actually add here. So now we go for the connect pane, and we're going to connect the content that we created previously on the modeler into this campaign. So we go into the repository, we go into the Grocer John episode that we created, and we have those two collections. So we go into the assets, and here you see the logo that we just created. So we're going to connect it. So we're just connecting that image into the campaign. We will now go and connect the collection with all the photos. We click on it, and now we have both the logo and the collection available. Once the content is connected into the campaign, we can actually use it. So we can actually drag and drop the content inside each component. So now I'm dragging the logo. Here's a logo. We can now edit this specific component. Let's say I'm going to remove all this metadata that I don't want. I'm going to edit specifically this content. I'm going to align it to the left. And let's change the background. You can actually pick whatever background that you want. I'm going to pick a color that we had already pre-selected here. Same thing here on the collection visualizer. It's this list visualizer. We're going to drag and drop the collection, which has the content. Now the images that we uploaded previously in this collection are available. We now start editing this component. So we come here and let's remove the title. Let's go and edit each specific component. So let's say we're going to remove the date time. We're going to keep the title. We'll remove the subtitle, the author, the brand, location. There's no pricing, description, text. We'll just turn all of these off. And we're going to add this little animation so it can actually move around. And that's it. So now we have the logo that we created before and the collection of images. Once we've done this, we can actually preview it. So we go here and click on the preview icon. You will get a QR code that you can actually scan with your mobile phone or your mobile device, and you can see how it will look on a mobile device. Or you can just click on this side and a new tab will open where you can actually see the two components here. The image component with the logo, and here's the image, the tile list component showing the gallery. Once we preview it, you can still make changes to it. Once you finish making all the changes, you can actually publish it. So we hit the publishing icon on the right side, and this will create a version for us, a public version. So we'll call it version 1. We hit on the confirm, and now the system will now create a public version of this application. It's going to be optimized. It's going to be sent through the CDN, all security, SSL certificate, everything. So it can be consumed. Okay, it's published. So we'll provide a shortened URL that you can actually use. We'll also provide the embedded code for it and the embedded script. So you can actually embed it into any other existing application or website. You can access it through the QR code. You can just scan this here or just click on the link. Now this is the published version of the application that we just built. We go back, and that's it. Thank you very much.